Hi, I'm Essie.
And I'm Elle.
Welcome back to Magic and Mayhem.
Okay, so
Here's the earth.
here's the earth, yes. So here is our wrap up for
May.
May. What month is it? What year is it?
Basically.
Seems like it has been a long month, actually.
June's been a long month and it's the 4th.
I know. Somehow. Long. Very, very long. Alright. However, these are the books that we have. This is our rankings, and these are the books that we have read for the month of May. And our opinions on them are our own. If you disagree with us, well, we're sorry, I guess.
You're allowed to have your own opinion, too.
Yes.
Everyone's allowed to have an opinion.
And all is good. No hard feelings. And friends are allowed to disagree.
We do frequently.
Because I've almost got Essie duped into reading the books that I desire.
She means forced.
Yes.
She means forced.
It was your idea.
I know. I regret my idea.
However, ta-da!
That one's for
The Desolation of Devil's Acre. One of the Miss Peregrines. This one was a pretty picturesque ending that you want in a fairy tale, essentially.
more Miss Peregrines.
And yes, again, Miss Peregrine's. This one's Miss Peregrine's Museum of Wonders. I, of course, had to read it after I had read the series. It wasn't like, it's not exactly more stories per se. It's just like, kind of like a fake history and kind of like her letters and
then more.
And then another one.
Another one.
Another interesting side addition to the main story. And this one, I think I liked this one slightly less. But I did not dislike it, of course.
That's the journal one, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was still interesting. Then I had Ruined Book 1. And I thought it wasn't exactly a totally new storyline or groundbreaking or anything like that. But I was pulled in by Ruined anyway, and I enjoyed it. That was one of the books that I've had for a long time. And I had the whole series. I bought the whole series.
A long time.
And I promptly proceeded not to read them. However, once I started Ruined, I immediately jumped to the second book. At the end of this book, I became worried about book 3. I am hesitant to read the ending as I see things being set up that I don't want to see, so I haven't continued
I
yet.
did notice that you didn't finish it.
I'm like, no, you can't do this. So I have not continued to 3 because I there's something brewing that I don't know that I want. So,
Fair.
so I immediately jumped to 2 and then I stopped.
Yeah.
Because
Seems right.
perchance I'm not appreciative of where we're going. But it was still an enjoyable story, not like a new favorite, especially not the second book, if they're going to do in 3 what it seems like. But, alright, so then, The Mysterious Affair at Styles. This one, I mean, I read it before, but I guess, I mean, even though I've read it before, it's still, like, up there. But it was a great start to the detective journey that we all, well, I mean, I suppose not everyone does, but that we love. And it was fun to look at the introductions to one of my favorite detectives, certainly of all time.
Oh, I see a winner.
Winner. And of course, need I say anything at all? The Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, book number 3, the end. Fantastic, of course. We all know this. Or you better know this.
I'd say if you watch any of our episodes, you know this.
Yes. Then we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I was emotionally confused in this book. I've already mentioned this in another video, but this book was set up the way that horror books are usually set up. Like, I was confused because I'm like, I'm reading a romance. What is a horror plotline doing in this book? So, because this could have so easily been a fantastic even setup to a horror book instead. But I definitely enjoyed it more than I expected to. I was forced to read this book.
You weren't forced, you chose it.
I know. From a list, I chose it.
Yeah. True.
Alright, How to Solve Your Own Murder. This one, obviously, is another murder mystery. I was in my murder mystery era, apparently.
Very much so.
And this one was kind of a tragic story. It was a tragedy, but like, there was hints of supernatural and hints of, do your beliefs and the predictions of those beliefs dictate your future? Could you possibly have made them happen? And would they not have happened if you hadn't believed them so strongly, and so on and so on. Because I think it says it in the synopsis, but one of the characters has believed in this prediction that she got when she was young, and it eventually comes true. And I did enjoy it. It was fun. Well, I mean, it was sad,
gonna say.
but, like, it was a tragic little story, but good regardless. Then we have Geneva, which I specifically sought out the audiobook for this one after I found out that Richard Armitage was narrating, and because that's also the author, so I thought that would be super fun. And I did very much enjoy it. Yay. It's a mystery thriller. It's kind of about how some people can use your perception about yourself, how others perceive you, and your own fears against you. That's basically what goes on. It was sad in a lot of places and kind of tragic, but very good. Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I think one of the biggest lines in this book was the thought that babies would become children and children would become people never occurred to them, aka the parents. And it's like, yeah, that is a problem. That's definitely a problem. And the problem played out through this book. Kind of a family horror story. And it was very interesting and sad. I found myself often thinking, well, of course they would do anything for a scrap of love and acceptance after growing up in this kind of thing, even though it's bad things.
Yeah.
But in some of cases, anyway. So, I did enjoy it. It was interesting since this is book 2 and I've read book 1. It was an interesting kind of prequel, I guess you would call it, because the first book is down the line, so you kind of are backtracking.
Yeah.
And seeing how they got to book 1. Okay, and 1,000 Steps into Night. This one, again, is another one I've already talked about before in another video, so I won't go over it too much. But it was enjoyable. The story was fun and very creative and very interesting to follow along with.
That was in our Reading Books YouTubers DNF'd video, if you're wondering. That
Same
one.
as
Yeah, book lovers.
Yep. So both of those are in another video. Alright, so then we have Starling House. Alright, with this one, there were such great characters. There were quite a few characters to love and also to hate in this particular story. The house and the people and everybody is all wrapped up in things together. In this one, some of the characters, you can't help but love. And then other characters you have visceral hate for, because we've all been around these kind of villainous characters that were in this book, who would stand by and watch a person bleed out at their feet without calling an ambulance if it made them even a single dime. And we have some of those characters in this book. Also have the opposite, some good characters, but it was a really good story. I enjoyed reading it. And side note, directly after I finished it, I saw Starling.
That's amazing.
Immediately after finishing it, just went outside, and there, sitting on the fence, was a starling, and it yelled at me. And I was like, "It's a sign! It's a sign!"
Why did it yell at you?
Well, it didn't really. It just was saying hello. But
and you're like,
with birds, it always sounds like screeching. So
True.
But I was highly entertained by that. So then we have the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. This one was all over the place. It's a trip, a dark trip with a fair amount of violence, be warned. It's a mystery, but also kind of sci-fi in a way. There's a lot of twists and turns and body jumping, kind of like Doctor Who, Freaky Friday, Supernatural, and Sherlock got thrown into a blender, and there you go.
That's quite a description.
The main warning I'll give is that you need to pay close attention to character names. I didn't pay close attention at first, and I was fighting for my life very shortly into this book. And so be aware of all the characters. That is my warning to you.
Use tabs.
Yes, use just know who these people are. Because at some point or other, that will become important. So, yes, there is my warning. And I did enjoy that one for sure. Again, it was such a trip.
It's always good when you laugh before you get to the book.
So, Dead Until Dark. I never did watch the show True Blood, and thought I should read the book since I hadn't. And I don't really want to talk about it. Okay. Don't want to talk about it, and I should have watched the show, apparently, I think.
Okay, well, you still drank it, so.
I did. Honestly, I skimmed a lot of it, because I was not enjoying this book. And I was like, are we done yet?
Fair.
Are we done yet? Is it going to get good now? Maybe? No? Okay. Okay, so then we have Hummingbird. This one I probably could have enjoyed, but I specifically picked it because it reminded me of someone that I know who had a similar disability, but they have passed away, so I ended up actually being sad through the entire book.
Aww.
So, because it was just too similar to some things that I had seen with that person who's no longer with us. And so, rather than having a good time, even though the book is fairly cheerful, I mean, it's got sad points, but it's fairly cheerful, but I was mostly just sad, so it was fine. But that's mostly me and my experience.
Yeah.
And or whatever you want to say. Then, introducing Gertrude Gumshoe. This one, Gertrude is both polarizing and endearing at the same time. She's brisk and harsh, but then you have little peeks at her soft side throughout the story. She isn't really a great detective, but she believes she is. And she does get there in the end, so... yeah. I actually liked the second one better than I liked the first one. I guess you just get a little bit more of her in the second one than in the first one. So I actually liked the second one a bit better.
Gotcha.
Then, Long Way Down. I expected this going in, but it was just really sad the entire time.
Oh, you got a lot of sad books in a row.
Yeah, I guess so. I really did like the author comments at the end. They were also really interesting and also equally sad. But I thought it was very well done. This is more or less written in verse. It's so short, I can't really say much.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, it was really good. And would I read it again? Probably not, because it's really sad. But I did like it, and it was good. So this side of murder, I don't have much to say about it. It had some interesting twists and turns, and it was fine. It wasn't fantastic, I will say, but it wasn't. His and Hers, Alice Feeney. I kind of have a lot to say about it, but I'll
Condense.
I'll try to condense. Some of the things in this book were sickening. There were a lot of characters in it that I had hoped more characters would die. Not enough characters died. And it was a lot of disturbing things in this book. And a lot of the disturbingness was not a good kind of disturbing. Don't laugh at me.
I was just trying to think of what good kind of disturbing would be.
Well, you know.
I know, I'm just being...
And it wasn't that.
Yeah.
Everyone in this book is a villain in some form. Basically, there's only a couple characters who aren't. You're not really sad when anyone dies either. Like, you're just like, oh, good. And it's kind of to the point where the real villains are oddly so villainous that they aren't even believable. Almost a Cruella de Vil level with certain aspects of it. So it's like
Almost cartoonish.
Almost. Because there are villains, and then there are the real villains, and all the and yeah, sometimes it was a little, it was just kind of unbelievable in a lot of the suspense aspects. I mean, did it surprise me? Yes. Did I think it was believable-ish? Kinda. Did I like 90% of what happened in the book? No. Didn't really like it. I could almost go up one, but not really.
Not based on that description.
Then we have A Wizard of Earthsea. It's number 1. This book is pretty old, and it really feels old while you're reading it. In a different way than, like, for example, Lord of the Rings does. And I'm not sure if that's a good... I wasn't sure if it was a good kind of old feeling. Honestly, something that drove my enjoyment down oddly was something very petty. And it was the fact that the main character's name is Ged. And what kind of name is that? Honestly, everybody else had cool names, and then you stick your main character with Ged. Why? I ask you, why did you do that?
I love the petty.
So yes, my reason for disliking it is just every little bit you're like, Ged. Then we have Poirot number 2, Murder on the Links. And this one, of course, I did like it slightly less, I think. Just like slightly less enjoyment. This one is interesting, but it isn't my favorite. The plot was just a bit annoying to me personally. It was annoying to see several of the other detectives being like unreasonably kind of dickish to Poirot for no reason. And so I was like, bitch. The Medici, whatever, murders. And I also did get the after reading listening to Geneva, which was also done by Richard Armitage. I noticed another one narrated by Richard Armitage, and so I was like, sign me up. The narration was excellent, big selling point. Beyond that, I really enjoyed the detective. She was fantastic. And I loved how basically she knew what was going on the entire time, and she was just kind of messing with everyone. And I really loved her for that.
That's amazing.
Like in the story, she kind of just knew the whole time, and yet she's just dragging everybody around for her enjoyment.
Incredible.
And I was like, yes, I love
Iconic.
it. And so I definitely enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with that mystery. So then, okay, so the Magic Misfits. This is part of a series. I got this one from the library because I purchased number 4, not number 1. So I have.
I love it. Not even 2 or 3.
Nope,
4.
number 4. So, so there's a me error on that one, but I got this from the library, and this really just feels like childhood when you're reading it. Like the book feels nostalgic. Even though I read it as an adult, obviously.
You're not a child? What?
I mean, well, that's debatable. But it was very fun, and with really lovely friends and found family, and just this nostalgic feeling, even though I'd never read it before. And I also found the little magic tricks in it very fun. So I definitely, I definitely really enjoyed that one. It was super cute. And even though I only own number 4, so I read number 1, because obviously one does not start at number 4. So, this one, Across to Kill, I kind of expected this one to be almost like the Father Dowling mysteries, which I liked as a kid. But this one, I did not finish this book.
Good enough.
For all the action, it was incredibly boring. And the main character was just simply too unreal. He's the only one in a group of other trained officers that could apparently spot a threat. I mean, honestly, please. He was just too good, and therefore it made it cringy, because he's just too it's so far out of the realm of believability. So I did DNF. Then the meddling kids, I was so upset. This one was another DNF, and I was expecting this book to be awesome.
It is a good concept. It's a great concept.
It could have been a good book. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and yeah, the bad queer rep is one of the main problems there. Okay, then we have All the Crooked Saints. I've also already talked about this in the DNF videos, and guess what? I too DNF. So there you go. My opinion on that is, well, it is in agreement. And I probably should have known that I wasn't going to appreciate this book, because I also did not appreciate the Raven Cycle books by the same person, and therefore I suppose I should have seen that coming.
Hey, you're pretty balanced this month, actually, overall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you read 28?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, like 28.
You can't DNFs. I think I read 26 this month, if I remember correctly. Okay, flip it over to mine, which is very colorful,
It is.
as it is every time. So, starting up with the Rosie Project. I'm sad because I wanted to love this so much more than I did. It was cute overall, but it just wasn't what I was expecting, and like the best friend character I hated so much. There's no like consequences for his actions. It's been actions over like 20 years.
Yeesh.
And there's like no repercussions, and I didn't love that. So, but I mean, it was still cute. It just wasn't really what I thought it would be. I still liked it. I didn't love it though, and I really thought I would, and I was sad. Chemistry lessons. I just wanted to try this author, and this was one of like their cheaper ebooks, I think, or something like that. It's cute. It was a bit fast for me, and I almost like them better as friends than I like them together romantically, but obviously that's not what happens. Although the chemistry puns were top tier. Loved them so much. So, and I did, like I said, I liked them as characters. It just was a little fast. How do I feel about it? I think I both loved it. Chemistry puns moved it up for me. I don't really remember this book. This is Hooked. I read it because I've loved another book by this author, but I don't remember it. So luckily I have notes but the story was too short for any real character growth. It wrapped up way too easily. The chemistry between the characters made no sense. Like, the whole story didn't make any sense. Like, why is this a thing? I get that it's a novella, but like, and like the whole, what you're basing all the plot around ends up like just not being a problem by the end. I don't know. It was meh. It was meh. Tell me it's real. TJ Klune. Paul was frustrating at some points in this. He's the main character, but the other character is a very sweet cinnamon roll, and we know how I feel about sweet cinnamon rolls. So I loved it. Down to a science. I was into the science puns this time. Lots of science books.
I was in my mystery era, and you were in your science pun era.
Well, specifically romance, science romance.
Yes.
Is that a genre? It needs to be. This was cute, but holy crap, just freaking communicate. Like, that drove me crazy. I'm like, I understand, like, you have trauma and everything. Fine. But you're best friends for 2 years and you can't talk? Come on now. I liked it. It was cute, but like, Flooded Secrets. Immediate favorite. I love this series so much. This is only the second one. I think it's supposed to be like 7 novellas long. I freaking love it. At first, I wasn't sure about the new character being introduced, but I came around to it. Also, sadder than I was expecting it to be, but still so good. I can't wait to read the next one whenever it comes out. I think in like November? I don't know. Look, cute. It's like cozy fantasy, but more action-y than most cozy fantasy, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but also great like Arrow Ace rep in it. Oh yeah. Let's make a deal. It was fine. I didn't like how it wrapped up, and I felt like the conversation around asexuality could have used a lot more conversation and, you know, explanation. Yep. And that's as an asexual person, so maybe I'm just sensitive about it, but didn't love the end. Donuts and dip. I had a bakery thing then after, like, science and then baking. I don't know. This was fine. It was cute. I mean, I don't think I mean, it ended really abruptly. And I don't feel like you got to see the, like, relationship part enough. So, it was fine. It was cute. It was short. Unicorn Crush. Listen, Phoebe and her Unicorn is never not going to be top tier for me. I don't care. It's a comfort series. I realize it's for children, and I do not care.
That's half the books that are comforting. Is
Yeah, that's
the books that we've read in our childhood.
That's why it's comforting. And one of the few comics that I found, because it's like a comic, that it's in newspapers, that actually has things like queer rep in it and things like that that I feel like are important, and it's really cute. So, The Disasters. Oh, where do I want to put this?
Well, after you read it, you immediately bought it.
I did. I love the group together. They're so much fun. I love the sci-fi elements. It was really good. That one. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I mean, it is YA, but that's not a detriment to me. I like YA, so. Oh yeah, Cosmonites. This was good. It was sad, but it was good. I definitely want to read the second one because it doesn't really like wrap up or end in any way. So I want to read the second one to see what happens. I don't know if there's just 2 in the series. If there's more, I'm not sure. But I did really, really love the characters in this. So, and yeah, fight the patriarchy. So, Party of Fools. This is not quite what I was expecting, but it's so cute. But like the Emperor person is not at all what I thought that they were gonna be.
In a good way?
In a good way. Also, this is also gonna be a series, I believe. Anyway, I think that's a good favorite. I have a lot of favorites. So, Legend of Zelda. This is the Legendary Edition Volume 3, which has Majora's Mask and Link to the Past. So it's kind of hard because I have different feelings about each one. Majora's Mask, I liked it. I thought it was really good. But Link to the Past, I loved. I think it's going to even out to a loved it. Because I think I would put Link to the Past in favorite and Majora's Mask didn't like it. Funny story. This is like my new favorite Emily Henry. The ending wasn't quite what I thought it would be. I think I enjoyed like most of the book more than the ending, but like the ending didn't ruin it for me by any means. So I'm also a huge sucker for roommates, so that's also
and they
part
were
of it.
roommates.
I'm such a sucker for it. Also, the amount of spite of doing things out of spite just made me so happy. What a match. Oh, this was also so cute. I wish it were longer. That was my only complaint. I wanted more time with the characters and with the characters together. Why was this not longer? Anthony was so cute. I loved it. I had a great time. Moonlighters, this is actually a reread. This is 3 novellas and a short story all together. I love it. Still love it. Once Ghosted, Twice Shy. Again, not what I was expecting this story to be. It's just so different than other romances that I read, which is a good thing. I like that about it. Again, I wish it were longer. This is a running theme. Please make your books longer. But I really loved it. I had a good time. Cody made me cry, which was rude. I did not expect it to. Because it was quite a bit sadder than I thought it would be. But I liked it. I had a good time. The art was gorgeous. I really liked the artwork. Also, the ending was very, very cute. I love the ending. Can't Escape Love. I really enjoyed this. Again, I wanted it to be longer. I still want it to be longer, but I really enjoyed the characters.
And it's got rep in it.
It does. Has autistic rep and wheelchair rep, both. And I loved it. I thought it was really cute. She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat is always going to be in the favorite tier. I love the whole series. I'm dying for the next volume. What's the name of this? Hirano Kagira? Is that how you would say that? I don't know.
Sure.
This was actually a reread. I actually just found it in a half price books for pretty cheap, and I knew that I liked the first volume, so I just picked it up. I think it's cute. I'm looking forward to reading more of the series. I haven't gotten that far into it, but I like the author, so. Dandelion. I love Dandelion. I've read from this author before, Marlene Garance, I think. Garance? It's French. I'm bad at French. I don't know. This was so cute. There's parts in it that I'm like, I wanted to shake one of the characters, but I still adored them. I still adored the book. Just, I feel like this author keeps getting better with everything that she writes, so that has to go there. This just came out, I believe, so you should totally go check it out. And then we have, y'all, Jurassic Park. The amount of excited I was for this book, followed by the amount of disappointment. I DNF'd this, which I'm just absolutely crushed by. But, like, there's no good people in this book. From what I've heard from people who watched the movie, it's very different from the movie. Maybe I'd like the movie better, I don't know. But, like, no one's a good person in this book, really. And there's not enough dinosaurs or science for me. And also, like, I should have known going in, but, like, all the dinosaurs are, like, seen as kind of monsters. Even though, like, not all of them do bad things. But I'm like, but what about the ones that didn't do anything? So, I don't know. I didn't really like it. I thought it was going to be funny. It's not funny. None of it's funny. I think maybe, like, what people said about the movie threw me off. Because maybe the movie is kind of funny, but the book's not. It's not. Also, I wanted more science and genetics, and there wasn't enough for me, but that's just me being a nerd. The Long Game is also DNF. I did what Elle did. I picked up another author that I've DNF'd before. For what reason? I don't know. Again, I didn't like any of the characters. They're all annoying. I didn't like any of them. I didn't care what happened. I did not make it very far. Jurassic Park, I made it pretty far. The Long Game, no. Strange the Dreamer, I'm so sad. This was a DNF, but this was due to triggers. This was nothing wrong with the book. It was just, no one anywhere said that there was some abuse in the book, and there definitely is. And it caught me off guard. And anyway, so I'm really sad because the writing was really good, and I was enjoying it otherwise, but I couldn't get through it. So, Illuminate was also a DNF. That was a DNF heavy month. I didn't like it, and I didn't care. That's all. And the mixed media and this form of mixed media just really didn't work for me. And I didn't really like the characters, so I gave up on it. So, anyway, mine was I had a very hot or cold month. Either did really well or not great at all.
Yeah. It's very varied on yours.
It is. So, anyway, that's what we read. A lot of favorites for me this month, though.
You did have a lot of favorites.
I'm happy.
Balances out the bad ones a bit.
Okay, because I think this is the most I've DNF'd in 1 month. In like a year, probably. Maybe even more. Maybe more. I don't know.
So, that was our month. Hopefully you had a better month than we did in some of these cases. Thanks for listening to Magic and Mayhem. All right, bye.